Morning, guys. It's a nice weather this morning, and on Thursday, it's a beautiful weather. I just want to say compliment, and I wish you all the best for 2022. And I believe, I trust this year is going to be a good year in your space. So I just want to do this video quickly for my candidate technicians, engineers, and technologists, guys that they want to register with EXA. I'm outside from where I'm working in my office. So I just want to do this video quickly. This is just a tip, because every time I help people to put their report together for EXA registration, I've got questions that people ask me to say, what are the information or what experience should I learn so that I'm able to register with EXA? And then every time this question bothers me, because I've realized most of the time when people submit their reports, you look at their reports, you read their reports, you find that the information that is on the report actually is not a good reflection of their experience. So I just want to share quickly what you must do. So I'll be doing these videos on a weekly basis, and then I call them tips, just to give you tips. So it's outside, don't mind the sound of the car. You can check I'm doing these videos, I'm outside. So you can see the freeway behind me, the cars are passing. So this tip is actually for those that are starting their careers in engineering. If just graduated, you got a job, and your goal is to one day register with EXA and submit your application form for consideration. So here's my tip for this week. When you get a job to a company, engineering or consulting or construction or production or manufacturing, whatever the company is where they are doing engineering work, my tip is, make sure first of all you learn everything about the company. It's very important to do that. And then record and document everything that you learn from that company. Okay, learn how the company source work, how do they get work. For example, if it's in construction, how do they do the tenders? How do they put a tender together? How do they price the tender, the bill of quantities? Learn how do they do logistics? How do they move material from one place to another? Okay, learn about sales. How do they do sales? Okay, obviously you want to work, on those departments from one place to another. But whenever you find a chance, whenever you find a space, make friends with the guys that are in sales. Learn, ask them questions about sales, how sales it's done in that company. Learn about finances, how do they budget for projects, make friends with project managers, with senior engineers, in that company. Learn how do they do budgets, learn how do they plan the work, how do they use different tools like MS projects, how do they plan and do the work for the project. Okay, learn how do they source out fabrication work, learn how do they do designs. If your company doesn't have a design department, talk to your manager, ask him if they can make a plan to second you to a company that can give you that experience. You understand? So learn how do they do designs, learn how do they do detailed drawing for fabrication purposes, learn how do they do quality, spend time with quality guys, try to move to different departments and learn. If you are placed in a design office, don't just say, I just want to learn design and that's what I'm going to do. Get information about how do they do quality control. If you've got an opportunity to go to site, which I strongly recommend, go to site. If your job allows you to spend, let's say 70% in the office and 30% on site, do that. When I was a young graduate completing my diploma in mechanical engineering, my manager says to me, you won't learn anything in the head office. I was working for a big construction company, and he said the only time that you can learn all the engineering matters is for you to go to site. And actually I thank him for that, because I spent time in Rustenburg when we were building Rasimone Platinum Mine. I spent time in that project. It was a huge project because we were building structures civil, mechanical, electrical, all types of engineering disciplines in that project. It was a big project. Then I spent time in Ghana, I spent time in Mali. So I've learned a lot in the space of 5 years. And that information was so valuable to me when I, wrote my next application form. It was successful because my experience allowed me to register. So the other important thing again, create yourself a spreadsheet or Word document, whatever tool you can use. Document these things. And here's my tip. Create a spreadsheet in such a way that you address all the 11 outcomes according to EXA's requirements. Maybe you can say, and these are the 3 questions that I want you to put in your spreadsheet or your document. In the bottom, in the top, you can answer this question: what did I do? How I did that particular activity, and what are the outcomes? And then going down, you can say outcome number 1, and then outcome number 2, number 3, number 4. So from outcome number 1, and then going across, the question is, what did I do? Explain what was your responsibility in that outcome, and how did you carry out that responsibility, and then what was the outcome of you carrying that responsibility, and you go to outcome number 2. So this document will be a live document. You'll update it, this document, as you continue and gain experience, in your field of engineering. So keep this knowledge, document, learn how problems are solved, learn how do they apply engineering principle, learn how do they apply legal and regulations in particular engineering activities. That will help you a lot. So with this tip, I believe that it will help you. But the important things, document everything, keep information, have a file where you keep all this information that you learn in all the projects. Put the dates, what was your responsibilities, things like this. So this will help you a lot. By the time you hit your 3 years, because that's a requirement according to EXA, if you want to register, you must have at least a minimum of 3 years work experience post your qualification. And once you hit your 3 years, and then you can begin, to draft your engineering report, your application form, and then now you've got information that you don't have to run around, look for it. It has been documented. You can put it on, and it makes the process easier. So with that, I want to leave you and have a good week, have a good career, have a good year. Take care and be safe. I will see you again in the next tip next week. Cheers.